Hello Darts Nutz, welcome to Darts Review channel. In this video I'm going to be checking out the new Condoar Axe 120 teardrop shape all-in-one integrated stem and flights, and these retail for the same price as the usual ones, $11.95, and as you can see they come in various colours. I'll just quickly show you what I've got. So I've got the yellow, shot them on the floor, blue, red, white, purple, black. There's no green. They just keep forgetting to do green. I don't know why. I don't know, it's the best colour ever. Anyway, recently I did a video on the Condor AXE XL and the Condor AXE 120 Narrow, and like I mentioned then, they're giving me quite a few sets, so I said I was going to do a giveaway, but I just haven't got around to doing that yet. So now that they've sent a few more in the teardrop shape, I'll hopefully be doing that giveaway this coming Sunday, which will be the 28th of September. So it'll be a subscriber only giveaway, so look out for that. You'll need to be a subscriber to the channel. I'll be giving away quite a few sets actually, but in this video I'm just going to give you a look at them. I'll show you some more pictures of the colours and that, and I'll also show you the dimensions, and I'll weigh them, and I'll try and compare it to a normal stem and flight. So let's check them out. Right, so as mentioned, they're in the three lengths: small, medium and long or large, and each one has got the little info there of the length of the stem, but I'll show you a graphic with all the dimensions on just now. Right, so once again we've got the short, medium and long. So there's the yellow. Now, as with all the Condoar Axe, they've got that kind of like groove running down the stem there, and you've got this like gap in between the thread and the base of the stem. And now originally that wasn't there when they first did the Condoar Axe. It was introduced afterwards, and it was kind of done as a fail-safe like feature, because originally I think a lot of people were getting it broken right at the base, and then that seemed to fix the problem and cure the problems with the breakages. And as you can see, because it's a three fin flight, it kind of looks a little bit unusual when you start turning it around. It almost looks like it's like faulty, as if it's deformed and all crooked, but that's just because it's on the three fins. But if you look at it from that angle, you can see the teardrop shape, but obviously as you turn it, it alters. So that's the yellow. Now I don't know, maybe I was going to say whether it would make any difference on this, the black one, whether you could see things a little bit clearer, but anyway it's always a bit hard to get the exposure right when you're using different colours like this on the camera. But there's the two shorts in the black and the yellow, and the mediums white and purple. So these are, I would say that they're solid colours, although they're slightly see-through, but I don't think they're meant to be like when you get the clear versions. So I'm sure they'll probably come out with the colours that they normally do with the other ranges, the clear and the neons. So that's the blue and the red. So I'll give you a comparison now with a normal stem and flight, but amazingly I don't have any recent pear-shaped flights or teardrop shape. I only found this old one. I don't even know how old this is, but it's an original BDO pear-shaped one. I give quite a lot of my stuff away recently to the local academy, so I don't really have as much gear to use now. Right, so I'll start with the Condoar Axe 120 teardrop short first, and a short nylon stem with the BDO flight, but I don't really know why they call it a pear shape, because it doesn't even look like a pear. I suppose in some way it kind of loosely resembles that shape, but it looks more like a skinny oval to me. But as you can see, in terms of the shape, the teardrop on the Condoar Axe is quite a bit broader, so not exactly an equivalent shape there. But in terms of the length, if you like to use a short nylon stem, then you haven't really got much choice but to go with the short version of the Condor Axe, even though it looks as if it's possibly about maybe 3 or maybe 4 mil longer, but that's your only option. And the Condoar Axe 120 teardrop medium and an in-between nylon stem. So there you go. It's a little bit of a closer match there, maybe. Probably not quite as much as 3 or 4 mil, maybe just about 2.5, somewhere around that. But I think in terms of the length, that's pretty close. So if you normally use an in-between, then go for the medium Condor Axe. And lastly, the Condoar Axe Teardrop 120 long compared to a medium nylon stem. So again, that's pretty close. It's almost the same, that one. So if you're using a medium nylon stem normally, then go for the long. Right, I'll just wear the short Condor Axe first. That's 1.42 grams, and a short nylon stem with the pear flight is 1.27 grams, so that is lighter, but I think mainly it's down to the fact that it's not quite the same size flight, but also because the nylon stem is short, there's not as much plastic there to weigh. So next is the medium Condor Axe, and that's 1.47. So I expect this one will probably weigh more because it's got more plastic on it now, so that'll be adding the weight. And the in-between nylon stem with the pear-shaped flight, 1.53, so that weighs more. And finally we've got the Condor Axe long, which is almost the same weight as the in-between nylon stem and flight, so that's 1.52, and the medium nylon stem with the pear flight is 1.76, so quite a big difference on that one. So it's probably just down to the extra length and thickness of the plastic, whereas that one's kind of got these grooves cut out, so it kind of goes thin. But that's just so if you've never used them before and you normally use a nylon stem, whichever size you use, there's going to be a slight difference in the weight, either a plus or minus, but it's probably not going to be making that much of a difference because it's only like fractions of a gram basically. Alright, let's give them a throw and see how they go. I'm going to try the short first, but before I do that, it's weird when you spin it around like that. It just looks like the stem and the flight is a kind of like deformed shape, but it's not, it's just an optical illusion. The first and last one went pretty nice through the air. The second one, I think it was just the way I released it. It works quite nice with these dart, actually, kind of quite zippy through the air. Well, these are just my first throws with them, so I've not done any other throws to date. I gotta say, just down to, I don't practice anymore with my elbow being iffy. So, we finally got a treble. Actually got a letter today, just to let me know that I'm on the waiting list for the clinic, so how long is that going to be, I don't know. Actually quite zippy through the air with these short ones. Probably quite like that when I get used to playing with them a bit more. So I'm going to switch over to the medium ones. So you just go have a cup of tea while I'm changing the flights. That's if you like tea. You may prefer coffee, or you may not like either. And amazingly, how does Misty's hairs get everywhere? No matter how much you clean up, you can still get hairs on stuff. It's like magic, they just appear out of nowhere. So, these are the medium. I'll just do another twisty bit. I love doing that. Now I seem to be getting just a bit more spin. I don't know why that would be like. Going left a bit too much there like. Don't seem quite as zippy through the air. I don't know what it is, but I've never really been into using pear shaped or teardrop shapes flights. Don't really know why. I think I've always just been stuck with standards or number 2 or small standard number 6. I think for a short while I did use slims, but I think that was just because Barney was using them at the time. Well, they went a bit nicer. One last go. Treble 5 champion. But I think these may be a little bit closer to the in-betweens like I have used before, but sometimes with a short barrel like this I do go for a medium stem, so we'll see how the long ones work because that's closest to a medium stem. But quite like how zippy they were with the short stems. So we'll have a go with these. I think these long ones may be a little bit more floaty like, and we'll just do another twist. And round the twist. Yeah, just as I thought it might be, a little bit more floaty, but that's not too bad. It's just getting used to the way the dart is flying through the air, I think. I think it's got a slightly nicer arc though with these. What are you doing, Misty? She's probably chasing a spider. She was determined to get the spider last night, but it went under the sofa, so she spent ages sat watching, waiting for it to come out, and it didn't. She got bored in the end. Oh, that was a bit painful. Well, yeah, that last one went the nicest so far in terms of how smooth it was. I want one last throw. Yeah, you can fly quite nice with them in terms of the arc, like I mentioned. So there you go. That's the Condor Axe 120 Teardrop. I think I still prefer my standard shape flights overall, but it's quite interesting that with the short ones it kind of was a little bit zippy and flat, but obviously it may depend on the darts that you're using as well. I preferred the arc with the long ones, and obviously the medium ones were kind of a little bit of a mix in between, but they were definitely flying a bit faster, and then these ones were obviously a bit slow, but that's just because it got more drag with a longer length. But like I say, it may depend on whether you like that shape flight in any case, but obviously these ones are kind of unique in that they've only got 3 fins, so they do tend to fly a little bit quicker through the air anyway. So that's the end of the video. Hope you've enjoyed watching it. I'll see you on the next one. Happy darting.